Welcome to AMVCA The Aftermath. This is Africa's biggest film and TV awards analyzed, argued, and settled. My name is Damilare Akintunde, and I'll be your host for this interesting conversation we're having about this award ceremony. To my immediate left is Vivian, followed by the gentleman Oris, and the lovely guy on the cap, Tito Abumere. Welcome to the panel, guys.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
So let's just get right into it, right? The first conversation we want to have is the biggest wins for AMVCA. Obviously, that's my father's shadow. So let me start with Tito on the finest.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I think a lot of us were surprised. We underestimated the pull or the gravitas that my father's shadow brought to, I for one anyway, and I think a lot of people as well. I was really rooting for the herd, but I think because of what my father's shadow has accomplished between last year and this year,
Yes.
outside of Nigeria, it's had its ripple effect, or it had its effect on the AMVCAs.
Yes.
And on the night, I wasn't on board.
Your hopes were dashed.
My hopes were dashed, yes. But after a couple of conversations and having a good meal here and there, because sometimes my agitations come from hunger. So after a lot of things, I think I'm now on board and I understand why my father's shadow did as well as it did on the night.
Oris, you said on Twitter that this was an unfair fight, having my father's shadow compete in a category where it has gotten international acclaim and it's coming to play in the local field where, it's unfair. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's unfair, and I think so maybe in the next 10 years too, because it's as you just pointed out, my father's shadow has had quite a run for like the past 12 months.
Right.
Because I think we are around, the can is supposed to begin again, and you of course
Exactly.
remember that
May,
last year
yeah.
when it was announced, and it was a big deal when it was announced as going to Cannes last year. So you go to Cannes, you then, most important for me as a Nigerian, is this is a film that then got to represent the UK at the Oscars. Of course, it didn't get picked when the initial list of 10 or so, or 15 came out, and of course it didn't pass the first stage. But the fact of the matter is that this was a film that was chosen by the UK to represent them at the Oscars for the international category.
Right.
So if you look at it in that light, it seems a little unfair, which is my point I was making on Twitter, that you did not, for whatever reasons, because I've also heard stories about how they wanted to go as a Nigerian picture, but that didn't quite work out.
Right.
But whatever the reasons are, fact of the matter is that you then go to the Oscars as a UK film. You then win, I think they won a
BAFTA.
A BAFTA.
Yeah.
So everything about you is screaming British.
Oof.
And then you show up at in quotes, national or local awards, and you take, at least what I'm thinking now, the shine off a deserving picture like The Herd. Now, this is not to say that The Herd is a perfect picture.
Right.
But I think that if you're thinking about Nollywood over the past 10, 15 years, I think The Herd ranks as somewhere around the first, maybe around top 10 or top 20, let's say top 20 movies over the past 10, 15 years from here.
I agree.
So, but in 10 years' time, when anybody takes a look at, if you're trying to get an idea of what happened in Nollywood in 2025, 2026, because he did not show up in a big way at our biggest awards,
Yes.
it is going to be missing.
Interesting.
And instead, you then have my father's shadow overshadowing it, historically. So for me, that's just the thing. I saw the film. I saw my father's shadow. I've seen it three times.
Damn.
So I got a link at some point to see it when it was in France. I saw it again when they did the premiere here, and then I saw it again when it was at the cinemas. So I really think it's a great film. Well, maybe great is too much. I think it's a very good film. And I think I think the issue for me and the AMVCA is not particularly the win, it is the nomination. I think that once it got nominated, it was difficult to not see how it's going to clean out.
Awesome.
Because technically speaking, this is a film that is made, in a way, by the BBC. Those guys have incredible long-term excellence in their souls.
But I
How do you
think
compete with that?
again,
How do you compete with that?
the narrative that My Father's Shadows production team is saying that
Yeah.
it was done predominantly by Nigerians. It was written by a Nigerian. It was directed by a Nigerian. It was produced by a Nigerian.
When you say, okay, so that's the other part of this thing. Like, I don't want it to look like I'm endorsing mediocrity. I never do that as a person. This is the first time I think in my life, honestly, as a film critic, where I'm thinking heavily about the politics, maybe in a sense above the artistry. But this is the first time, so everybody has to pardon me because this is really not who I am normally. I'm just saying that even if these persons hold Nigerian passport, they also hold a UK passport.
Yeah.
And in the lifetime of their movie, they have shown us that maybe, just maybe, they are tilting more towards the UK. And then suddenly, our biggest awards then rewards them with the crown jewel of the night. I was telling somebody because I was at a ceremony, I said that, you know what, if this is the one time where they split the awards, I would have probably accepted it. What I mean by that is maybe you give Akinola, I've also met him. They gave him best director, and then they gave
The
the
Herd
Herd
best movie.
best film, or the other way around. I would
Right.
probably feel a little bit better about it. But now it looks to me like everybody sees this and says, okay, wait, if I have a picture that is co-produced by a really strong country. Cinematically, I can, in quote again, bully the local players. Exactly. And so that's kind of what it is.
The precedent of My Father's Shadow winning at AMVCA's 12 as Best Picture and Best Director. The precedent is set. It's just
and best writing too. Let's forget it. Kind of swept all the great awards. It kind of swept them.
I want to bring Vivian into the conversation in terms of best writing, best movie, best director. Do you think My Father's Shadow should have cleared all three?
I think for the mere fact that it was nominated, you put it beside any other film on that list.
Right.
And it does clear all three, and I totally understand what Oris is saying about the politics of it. And it's right on politically.
Right.
But politically speaking, you get. But the issue is, where do you draw the line? So if you have to establish criteria to prevent this from happening again?
Yes.
Where do you draw the line? Is it only if you've won BAFTA before or won because if you have a UK Nigerian co-production tomorrow that doesn't do quite as well,
all right.
Right.
Are you going to cut it out as well?
No. So I mean, and this is one of the things. I mean, you Damilare brought in what I tweeted. Twitter is not a great place for nuance, so you can't really say everything you want to say like in a tweet, so to speak. But my entire thing is this: is that even at the ceremony, I was speaking to a few of my friends in the industry. I was like, okay, there has to be a way we can talk. What I was saying on Twitter was, let's talk about and figure out how do we do. So I have come up with, at least since the tweets that Damilare saw, I've come up with what I feel like might be a solution.
Right.
Of course, it's not absolute. I'm not the MVC organizers. They don't. Okay, I know them. They know me, but it's not like I can go and tell them. But I hope that we can talk about it and see what's possible. So my major solution would be this: is to say, hey, okay, over the next couple years, in fact, maybe Mami Water, I think.
Ooh.
Maybe since Mami Water, we've had a bunch of our pictures do well or go into all of these really renowned spaces.
Yes.
Is there a way we can carve out a specific, so it's either of two things, a specific category for co-productions?
Right.
Okay.
You understand? So that's one way to think about it. The other way to think about it is say, okay, you can be nominated for everything, but maybe specific categories will then be shot out.
So there's a limitation to your nominations list.
Yes. So maybe it's going to be a thing of, if you have won another country's national award, you are not going to be eligible for best picture. Do you understand? Yeah. So I'm saying my point, like
a non-African country, to be specific.
You said yes, a non-African country. So the point I'm trying to make here is that this is how we can think and talk about it. I can't bring the solutions on Twitter, but I was saying, you know what, this is what I would suggest going forward. Can you either, one, have a specific category for these guys, or can you say, okay, you know what, if you've won this, or you've gone, because the Oscars are important, you have gone as this,
gone as far
maybe,
as this.
Maybe these two categories, you can't get nominated for them.
And I think even the bigger question is, does that mean that we're leaving space behind for our local players to catch up? Is that what we're doing?
That's a scary one, but I would rather... Tito, what do you think? Let me ask. What do you think?
Well, I mean, You're asking a lot from our local players to get to that level.
Jesus.
You're asking a lot.
That sounds like something I would say.
Yeah, you're asking a lot because I mean, if we want to now say that films like My Father's Shadow are now the standard we want to aspire to for the AMVCAs, I mean,
Like I said,
it would
might
be very
close
So
scanty
interesting.
nominee
There
list.
was a tweet I saw about how the past 3 best pictures has actually,
The Big Brother Festival.
show how the AMVCA's quote unquote has improved in terms of its taste. Where you have
The Freedom Way.
Breath of
yeah,
Life,
so
Freedom
My
Way.
Father's Shadow this year, Freedom Way last year, and then we
Breath
have
of Life,
Breath of Life for the past 3 years. And I quickly want to bring
sorry, I want to say something. I don't think one of them is in that category. But
I
keep
do
going.
agree. I agree. Keep going.
Keep going. I'm sorry, but I had to say that. But keep going.
Okay. Categories. I want to bring Vivian to the categories. In terms of how the categories played out this year, and especially how there's a conversation about To Kill a Monkey was arguably snubbed because again, there's no best TV series or there's no how do I put it now? There's no distinction between a
But there is best
there is,
TV
there is.
series.
I mean,
Scripted.
scripted.
Yes, there
so, but then again, for best director TV series, best
Yeah, they
director
don't.
film,
Okay, no,
maybe
okay,
that's
no.
it.
Oh, yeah.
And then how do we navigate that? Because Kemi Atiba was absolutely left out of this list.
Look, I don't know what else I can say that I have not said before. I have a whole essay of like 3,000 words or something about why this is an issue. I have published that essay twice. It's a question of, I don't know, I don't want to say AMVCA, they are not listening. I think you guys are listening because something changed this year, right? But it's overdue. Look at To Kill a Monkey competing with My Father's Shadow for score.
Yeah.
I don't
Best
think
score.
so. I think that To Kill a Monkey had a very good score, but I think the score was in the wrong show. To be honest, I think it was competing. Half of the time you're hearing the score louder than what the diegetic sound.
It's overwhelming.
Yes, it was competing with the dialogue half of the time, but I think on its own, it's wonderful, right? And I think it does deserve a win, I guess, but in a TV category.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but I differ a little bit from Vivian's take, only in the sense of I believe that for you to say something is good, like a score is good, it has to work within the world it is created for.
Well,
Okay. Understand exactly, and you pointed out. You're right. I mean, I had the same feeling too. Like this is overwhelming. I can't even hear some of the dialogue because, for some reason, I made a joke when I was watching it. Should I say it on? Okay, I'll say it.
Go ahead.
I made a joke that the director's husband is the person who is doing it. So maybe it's a case of like showcasing what is about, even above because it was a joke, of course.
That is an interesting observation.
It's a joke.
Also very
That is a joke. Let's
be clear.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I want to talk about our best lead actor. We have Colors of Fire, Uzor Arukwe, taking that category home. What are your hot takes, Vivian?
I don't have a hot take because it's not like it was a particularly intense
performance.
Not the performance itself, the category.
Oh, right.
The nominations. It wasn't like a particularly intense.
So we had, let me run the list. We had Latif for Lishabi. We had William Benson to Kill a Monkey. We had Mike Edzure for Ovasabi Auntie. We had Kanayo for Grandpa Must Obey. Kuzumba Meyewa, Bet I Love You. Wale Ojo for 3 Cold Dishes. And then Femi Branch for Red Circle.
Well, I didn't see Bet I Love You, so I can keep that on the corner.
Tito.
But you see. I'm to be honest, I think maybe
You are saying it wasn't a strong nomination list.
it wasn't a strong
The
category.
list, the nominees wasn't really. Who would
So
you
I
have
think
added?
I don't think I would really quarrel with
Nobody was outstanding.
anybody winning or not winning. I think maybe if I had to pick one person, I might have picked William Benson.
Interesting.
But
William Benson
I'm not
was-
really quarreling with the category, with the winning.
Because you felt it wasn't just a strong.
I thought it was just not a very strong.
Tito, you want to go into that?
Mike Ezronue was quite good in Ovasabi Auntie. It was a very strong performance, one of the better things about that movie. And particularly with Uzor's performance. And on the night, he did say he himself was a bit surprised.
I saw a video of him. They called out his name and he was looking back and like, what is going on?
Yeah, another Uzor in
was
the audience. So, and I don't recall when we saw Colors of Fire in December, I don't recall anyone saying, oh, wow, Uzor Arukwe should get nominated. I remember I was saying that for Gabriel in my review, which I did with somebody.
Yeah.
He was nominated for Best Supporting.
Yeah.
So
That's actually true.
So, yeah, but no one saw Uzor's. And mind you, Colors of Fire it's the set is like it's like an old mythical Yoruba village or two mythical Yoruba villages, and Igbo man, he tried to chip in his Yoruba here and there, but I had an issue with that, so it wasn't even that convincing. He didn't speak that much Yoruba in the film that is set in the Yoruba kingdom. They didn't even try and make it look like, oh, he's an outsider who came in and who doesn't speak the language. So there's just several things about the character and the performance that just were not really noteworthy, not to mention award-worthy. So it was quite a surprise and a shock to many of us.
Let's go to Best Lead Actress, Oris. I'm coming back to you. Winner is Linda Ejiofor for The Serpent's Gift.
Yes, but can I say something about the best actor? I'm trying my best to be brief, but I need
brief,
to.
go ahead.
Briefly, okay. So first things first. I think Vivian is correct. We did not have, far as I know, and I saw a bunch of them. We don't have a great lead performance from any man last year. It just did not exist. So it was a poor nomination list. And I remember when I was looking through the list, I was like trying to take my picks. I'm like, I don't feel strongly about a single person on that list because nobody was outstanding. But even in that world, Colors of Fire is, sorry to say, an incredibly poor film that has no business at an awards. And Uzor Arukwe, who is an ordinarily decent actor, I don't think he does anything in that film that deserves to put him in any nomination list in the first place. And then he wins. But then again, Wiki right? So
I have a comeback to that, but go ahead.
Can I say
Oh,
something?
no.
Just let me chip in his defense. We need to have something in his defense.
But then
let
again,
me say something.
No, so sorry. The movie begins, so I tell people, sorry, another joke I make is that, look, if you see a Nollywood script that has fight choreography, as a serious actor, say no. Because they can't do it.
Oris, you are scratching this table.
Okay, so
I just wanted to say something in Uzor's defense. I am grateful that at least his AMVCA award is for a, let's say, more dramatic performance. I'm so grateful that they did not give him an award for not just a comedy, for a stereotypical Igbo performance. That would have been a bad precedent. He does that, they give him those performances. They cast him in that a lot. They're trying to stereotype him or typecast him into it. And I'm grateful that his award is for something different. So maybe people will now give him more. The other kind. Do you get what I mean?
Which also begs the question.
I'm not giving another sword to fight.
Is the industry seeing Uzor much more than a stereotypical Igbo man?
No, of course. I mean, as she just pointed out, with this particular role, it looks like that. But my point is, I'm not sure I subscribe to the idea of escaping stereotypy into mediocrity. You know?
Let's go into Best Lead Actress, gentlemen. Linda Ejiofor.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Does anybody watch Serpent's Gift?
Unfortunately, I missed it at the cinemas. I won't.
Same, I missed it as well, unfortunately.
She said she pointed out on stage that, you know what,
lots of people
haven't
didn't
seen it.
So I hope it comes to a streaming platform and we can really...
I did see it though.
You did? Okay.
And the film itself, I think, is made. But I liked her performance in the film. I think it was probably the best.
That was directed by Kayode Kassim, right?
Yes.
It was.
But I think it was. I think her performance was the best thing about the film.
And was it award worthy?
How many performances? We'll take it. Honestly, we'll take it.
She's likable, so there's that. There is that.
But I think she's a strong performer.
She is a strong performer.
I do think so.
She's a strong performer. Even from the days of the meeting, because I think that was her last time she had a good outing at the AMVCA, where she took, I think, best, was it supporting or best? I think she took on best supporting actress. But let's move on to best supporting actor. And we have Buchi Franklin.
Oh, you know there would have been a riot if he did not win.
I saw the crowd, the ovation.
There was a year, so there was a year, I think 2004, whatever, the year what's his name? Jamie Foxx won the Best Actor Oscar for Ray. I remember that one of, I think it was in New York Times or something, we were talking about the win, and they were saying that it wasn't the case that he won the award. At the ceremony, it was just a coronation. So from last year, it was clear that Buchi was going to be coronated. We already know he's the king. Just okay, let's ceremony come, put the thing on top of his head. That's what it, because I think he was, of all of the nominees, he was the only one, when I was doing my own list at home, that was certain that, you know what, he is going to win. That was the only one that was certain that nobody else will win this thing if not this guy. It was so clear. And that's another, unfortunately, I think that's another reason why William Benson kind of suffered. Because even if William is the lead in that particular picture,
the performance
Buchi was just so overwhelming. The character, the acting was so overwhelming that it then puts William Benson on like a
high
lower plane.
pedestal, yeah.
Because you didn't have to overdo to, and you know, somehow it's very unlikely that anybody really does that. So I kind of understand why within the film, he wins. Nobody, I don't think anybody else in Tito. Yes. It was so clear that the best thing about this thing is this guy. So in a sense, there's a sense where you have this thing where somebody's so good, everybody else is fine, but you know, they don't look poor because he's so good. But anyway,
Buchi has best supporting actor, and we are
known.
We're all in support.
All in support.
Buchi, excellent stuff.
It's your own. You
So
own it.
let's go back to Linda again. Linda took home Best Supporting Actress for her role in The Herd.
Yeah.
We have our The Herd favorites.
Exactly,
So you want to
right.
take that? Go ahead.
It was a huge surprise seeing her in the supporting, being given that nomination as a supporting, because if you remember, it seemed like Genoveva was more in the supporting role in The Herd, and Linda, because I think Linda had more screen time, her character was more prominent, running from pillar to post to try and raise the ransom money.
Yes.
So we were quite surprised that she was cast as best supporting. But funny enough, I wasn't, my ideal, how I wanted things to pan out on the night, I wanted Amal Omar, who played the female bandit in The Herd, to win Best Supporting
and
Actress.
that was a double nomination for The Herd.
For The Herd in that
both
category,
in that
yes.
category, yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
While Genoveva was nominated against Linda in Best Lead. Yes.
Interesting.
So what I wanted was for Amal Omar to win Best Supporting and Linda to win, but not for The Herd though, to win Best Lead, which she eventually did for Serpent's Gift. But I mean, a record, first woman, from what I understand, first man to win of a double same year, Best Supporting and Best Lead. So at the AMVCAs, I'm incredibly happy for her, and yeah, she had a great year, and yeah, well deserved, well deserved.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know about well deserved because I honestly expected Amal Umar to be the person to take that particular award. Again, I don't believe that The Herd really has a lead female performance.
Exactly, I was going to say that.
So I feel like even Genevieve, all of them should have gotten under the best supporting category. I don't think that film, there's just one lead, and it's Daniel. So all of the female
which is also
characters
interesting
supposed to be
Daniel didn't get a nomination.
I was surprised by that as well.
Go ahead, you had the
Hey,
I'm
the consultant on the representative. I was surprised by that, but maybe who knows why? But I mean, The Herd did have the highest nominations, tying with Ginger. So which we'll get to. So I mean, I was willing to let that go, but because I was more concerned about Daniel winning for Best Director and then the movie also winning Best Movie. So I mean, I was willing to let it go.
So one of the things I really love about awarding ceremonies, which I think the jurors also distinguish, is they want you to come back. So hopefully Daniel Sophomore is going to come back at the AMVCAs, and then we'll see how he does at the AMVCAs. This is his first outing, which means that there's a level of a Daniel an Etimeffiong film, like a level that we're expecting for a Daniel Etimeffiong film. So let's see how his sophomore feature does, and then hopefully we'll come back again next year to see. Let's move on to an interesting topic, which is Ginger, with 3 R's, by the way. So Ginger was one of the highest grossing movies for last year, and it got away with 9 nominations at the AMVCAs. I want to bring in our resident critic here, Vivian, to discuss Ginger. Ginger had 9 nominations. Why did you think it didn't convert any nomination?
Because what was it even doing there in the film? What was it doing there?
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel.
What are you saying? Are you saying Ginger should have never gotten to the AMVCAs?
Let me tell you the category of films Ginger belongs in.
Go for it.
Scene. Family Bruhaha. What's the other film? Who and Betty's had one this and the other.
Yeah, I think
that is the category that Ginger belongs to.
The category of films that Ginger belongs to.
The family Bruhahas of the world, the sins of the world. Not just like bad films.
Okay.
Very, 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 very objectively, subjectively bad films.
Okay.
Oris,
objectively.
Oris, did you watch Ginger?
I did, yes.
How do you feel?
I feel probably worse. It was Ginger is just not a.
But Ginger made money at the box office.
So let me explain. I think how these things work. I think for films like Ginger, the idea is to do this, is to aggregate fan bases and bring them to the cinemas. And in fact, that's probably the operating way of the box office in Nigeria right now. Is that you bring in the 3 million fans of this particular actor or social media influencer, do it for this other guy, the person's followership, do it for this other guy, bring them together, divide it, find the average figure, and then you can start approximating how much it will make at the cinemas.
So it was an aggregation of consumers that got Ginger to where it is today.
Yes, but that's why, see, and this is my quarrel with things like the MVCA, or with the MVCA in particular, is we need to be able to separate commercialism or commercial success from actual excellence, which is what I had assumed that in today's AMVCA, that's what they're trying to pursue. Ginger is a badly written, terribly acted project. So there is no reason why it should be showing up. It wasn't, I think he got a cinematography nomination. I was like, what are you doing here?
Can we discuss best cinematography? For AMVCA's 12 was won by To Kill a Monkey. And in the category we had My Father's Shadow, The Herd, Finding Nina, The Serpent's Gift, Stitches, and then Ginger.
All of which are not particularly well photographed.
I don't know what Finding Nina is doing there.
The film,
That's the one thing that film should have been good at, cinematography.
But it wasn't.
The one thing. Because that was like the point of the whole photographer
Defining Nina,
trying to paint a good picture of the North. That was the plot.
Sure.
It was failed at that, so I don't know why.
The thing is, so for me, the film that should have been there, that wasn't there, is Three Cold Dishes.
I agree.
So Casey Obojilu was nominated for Stitches.
Yeah.
But I thought his better work
was
as far as is actually in Three Cold. But he didn't get nominated at all. So I was a little surprised about that. I'm not saying it's a great film, but I'm saying that this
cinematography.
Let's talk about Three Good Dishes, right? I didn't think he won. He didn't win
anything either. But
what does AMVCA telling us by not giving Three Good Dishes any award?
I think with some big ones that were nominated, like behind the scenes, Three Cold Dishes, Ginger.
Three Cold Dishes is a big one.
Well,
it's a Pan-African film shot in 6 countries.
Okay, that's what
Backed by Burna Boy.
I
have to remind you guys, backed by Burna Boy.
And I think was the opening film at Afrif last year.
Yes. It was opening.
That's actually where I saw it.
So
you say big, okay, that's what you mean. I thought you meant box office because he did badly at the box office.
Nah,
that's what I meant.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on.
Wow, all right.
Damilare is censoring us.
Best writing movie. Again, I think we need to talk about writing.
We must. Nollywood's problem is
winner, My Father's Shadow.
Yes.
And then in that category, we had The Earth. We had Blackout. Interesting. Okechukwu Oku's film. We had Cards on the Table. Ginger with 3 R's. Suki.
Okay.
3 Cold Dishes.
Right.
Vivian.
Best writing movie. Winner, My Father's Shadow.
I think My Father's Shadow
Davies.
is, I mean, you might have your issues with it and the writer, whatever, but it's the better written film there.
Better than The Herd.
Yeah, I think it's better written than that.
Okay.
I think. Okay. What are the other films you've called?
We had Blackout. We had
So I saw
We
Blackout.
had Suki.
Oh,
Why are we not talking about
Three Cold Dishes
Suki?
was terribly written. Suki was the drabbest, like it was so drab. I'm sorry. I don't
Oris, let me bring this conversation. Writing. Best writing for the movie was won by My Father's Shadow.
Yeah.
Was that deserved?
I think, again, once it showed up there, it was hard to argue against it. But yes, but I was thinking that The Herd might have won it and I wouldn't feel bad. You know, so that's what I was, because I think in that particular category, there's just 2 films. I haven't seen of course, the Kenyan or this African one, you know, but the Nigerian ones that are there, I think I've seen them. And yeah, there was just, for me, it was supposed to be The Herd versus My Father's Shadow. I think that I would have tilted towards My Father's Shadow 1, of course, I've explained the politics earlier, but also in terms of what, maybe size or scale, I think My Father's Shadow is an intimate story.
Yeah.
A father, 2 kids over a day. The Herd is over several days involving the northern Nigeria and south. So, and it says something about where we are now.
As a nation.
So, as a country, yes. So in my head, I don't like some of what it does in the third act where it tries to involve practically too many people. I'm like, you know, I don't know about that. But I think the ambition is there. So if I was part of the jury, I probably would still tell towards
To reward the ambition they had.
Yeah, towards the Herd. Just because I think it says a fuller story and it's about where we are now. Although, to be fair to My Father's Shadow, it says something about politics, but it's set in 1993. And part of the weakness, at least for me, in certain scenes is that it's kind of like what happens in Kula Folayon's October 1.
Right.
There's a scene called, I think October 1 was set in 1960. And of course, we all know that 1967, you then have the war. There's a character in October 1 that says something about how, in 7 years, there's going to be a problem. And you can tell that that is just a director or writer.
Just putting in something context that should have been
so
there.
There's a sense in which at least in 1 or 2 points, I see the same kind of reaching for a contemporary relevance for a film that's set there in My Father's Shadows. That's maybe one of the weaknesses. And like I said, it's a smaller story, so I probably would have said, you know what, this should go to the herd.
Moving on to Best Art Direction. Winner was Colors of Fire. And in that category, we had The Serpent's Gift, The Herd, Aljana, Suki, and Inimiba. Inimiba.
Which is a series.
It's a series.
South African series.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So any take on
I
that?
haven't seen it though, so I don't know.
Colors of Fire, I think, was well deserving, and the art direction in Colors of Fire was actually quite interesting. Visually, and I think they led with that when it came out about how visually appealing and dynamic it was going to be with this kingdom being represented with this color and all that. Vivian, you're smiling.
No, I'm good. I'm
she's like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. But yes, the art direction I believe was quite impressive, and I felt like it was well deserved to win Best Direction.
When I was doing my own list at home, I also felt like, okay, like I said, I think it's a terrible film, but certain things are right, certain things are kind of fine, and I think that on the craft level, certain things kind of worked out well, and I wouldn't mind. In fact, in my own list, I actually had it there
as well,
as winner, honestly. So I was like, okay, so when it happened, I'm like,
fair.
I don't think it's a great film, but I think for this particular technical or craft, whatever, okay, it's not bad. But something we should probably mention here is this. I suspect, I might not be, I'm not 100% certain, that Colors of Fire is one of the first films, if not the very first one, at least on this scale, to use AI. I mean, it does it badly, but I think that
used
one
AI
thing,
as well.
Yeah, but I think it came out first. I think this came out first.
Some came out before.
Came out first?
Yes.
Okay. You're right. Okay, that's very true. So, but I think that the AMVCA, sort of like the Oscars, needs to adopt a particular policy towards
use of AI.
towards use of AI, yes. Because I think that, so I don't know what they will say, but I'm saying that it's something that you have to think about, like, okay, more people are going to probably use AI. So now, as you just pointed out, 2 films from last year, 2 major films
from last year
use this. So what is going to be the industry policy or the awards policy concerning this? They need to tell us, or they need to think about it and say, hey, this is what we'll be going forward.
Especially since we're still trying to hone crafts in this industry. Let's not jump that step of honing crafts.
And now lean on AI.
So I think,
right.
Interesting.
Fair.
You mentioned a title which I also find very curious that didn't win any nominations, any win last year. That's James Omokwe's Osamide, which was like a Benin epic.
From there, which is where my state, where I'm from. We are both from there. From
and what did you guys think about the film?
Let's Oris. Defensive.
Unfortunately, well, I don't think we do epics well.
Interesting.
I don't think we do epics well as a rule. In fact, I think that my favorite of the epics we've done so far across cultures, and although it's mostly the Yoruba epics that we have, it's probably the first one that kind of made it clear, that this was something that to pursue. King of Thieves, probably still my favorite one.
Me too.
So what that means is that when you then take that concept and take it to a different, in quote, place, like Edo State, where we haven't even developed the stories enough. Because I think the Yorubas, I think they've developed their own storytelling, at least for cinemas, a whole lot more than any other culture in the across the country. So now you have something that is not working, as far as I know, taking it to a new place, and I don't think you spent a lot of time thinking about the story and the performances. So Osamide, unfortunately, I think it just didn't quite work out.
Awesome. Vivian, I want to come back to you and let's talk about, best costume design. Also, again, Colors of Fire, Valerie Ukeke winning that amongst The Serpent's Gift, Real Housewives of Lagos season 3.
Such a funny,
very funny.
Something about the braids.
Yolanda
Okereke, and To Kill a Monkey.
So
was that a strong category, by the way?
I mean, as far as flashy costuming goes,
which is right. You have to point.
There's something we say. I've forgotten the word now. Nice gowns.
Nice gowns. Beautiful dresses.
There is a Franklin line.
Dresses. So I didn't see something about the Briggs, which
didn't?
which I regret. I wish that's one film I missed. Maybe one of two films I missed last year that I
Right.
really wanted to see. So I can't really speak to that. I think who won?
Colors of
Vivian
Fire.
Colors of
Colors
Fire.
of
I think
Fire.
that's it. I think it's fair. I was saying something before we
rolling.
started. Yeah, I said the thing about. Should I say? The
You
thing
are
about
already
Ant
there,
Hill
Fern.
is that they see one thing that one concept they want to do, and then they like hammer on it. They focus everything on it and like sort of let everything else just
Slide.
yeah. So I think that art direction and
Visuals.
costuming, like I think that was their
Their
focus,
focus,
and
and
they really
they didn't
hammered
pay
on
as much
it.
attention.
Yeah, I think it's a fair, it's a fair win.
Let me just chip in something as an anecdote. Yolanda Okereke, this was her 8th nomination. Yolanda Okereke is like the top in terms
She's the
of
OG.
costume. She's the OG. Nominated 8 times, she's never won.
Which begs the
So
question,
all the people
what's
that have
happening?
been winning are probably people that look up to her. They have awards she doesn't. So I feel she was robbed, right? And another thing, something about the Briggs, brilliant. The costuming, my goodness, fantastic. While watching this film, and not just the key performers.
Characters,
It's a large cast. You had Rita Dominic, Stan, Daniel Arike,
Yeah.
so many of them, and they were all so well dressed. Stan Nze, the way he wore those outfits and carried himself in those outfits. His character is the kind of guy, he's married to a rich girl and he's trying to keep up appearances. He likes the nice lifestyle, but he's unemployed, but he's keeping up appearances and he's now like bullying the wife and he's dressing well. So, and the way he dresses well in that, he just does it so well. And the costumes in that film, they were a character on their own. So Yolanda Okereke was truly robbed, in my opinion, by not winning that.
She's Diane Warren of the
Their worries never won a Grammy, but as you know,
I also
she's
want
written
to
so many awesome
acknowledge.
songs.
I want to acknowledge
What are you
To
acknowledging?
Kill a Monkey. I have major
Costume-wise?
beef with To
Costume-wise?
Kill a Monkey. Just specifically, your boss character, what's the word?
Brother.
They wanting to Money Misroad
Oh,
angle of the way he was
Okay.
dressed,
Okay.
right? I want to acknowledge that.
You are not acknowledging Sparkles.
He's
Moving on. Best Indigenous Film West Africa, won by Lishabi.
Shabi Latif.
Just give this one to me, please.
Yes.
Please,
In that category, we had The Serpent's Gift, Labake Olododo, Olorisha, and Aljana.
I
Oris.
think that category should be scrapped. that's
Best
my hottest.
Indigenous.
My hottest take. Oh yes, I mean for certain years. I think that
Let's have
um,
year.
yeah, I think that certain years, a lot of our poorest movies can be found in that particular
Yes, yeah.
category. So yes, and I don't like this idea, and this is one of the things I struggled with AMVCA from the beginning of time, and maybe even most Nigerian awards. This legitimizing of mediocrity, I don't like it at all.
What do you mean by legitimizing mediocrity? Just
What I
because
mean-
you put something up for award doesn't mean that it's mediocre or that
It means you think
means
it's a
it's
good
excellent.
film.
Yes, it means that it's excellent, or it's supposed to be, or it's aspiring towards
Because
that.
it literally, they say they are awarding
African
excellence.
excellence. That's what
Yes.
they say. That's what they say they are doing. So for Lishabi, by
are meant to be like the best of the
Best of the
yes,
best.
yes. So for Lishabi, which has been clearing awards for like 2 years, just like, please God, why?
Because it also begs the question of if we don't have films fit for that category, does that mean that we should just only put 2 names up there, or we should just scrap it entirely?
So look, this is a very difficult question to answer because I was something I used as the what's it called as an equivalent. I know that a few years ago, not a few years, maybe 10 years or whatever ago, the Oscars said, you know what, we usually have 4 or 5 nominees per whatever, but for Best Picture, let us bring it up to 10. So it can be something. So they said at the time it could be between 5 and 10. That was kind of how they did that, and it was mostly because industry people said that it was because of The Dark Knight not getting nomination when Nolan did The Dark Knight. So to kind of make sure that they could accommodate more, they increased it, but they didn't want to put a hard figure.
Right.
So I'm saying now that maybe, just maybe, it could be the case that you could say these categories, you get nominations from 3 to 6 or whatever.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a specific.
I don't even think they have
Number.
a specific number because I know one of those indigenous language categories
Right.
they didn't have up to 5.
Nah.
So
think
I'm
there
saying
was three in one of
I'm
those
saying
ones.
this
So-
because that for Lishabi in particular, he should not win a single award in his lifetime, but it has won a lot. I remember last year, it was the most nominated picture across both AMA and AMVCA. A film of that quality, honestly, should not even get nominated. But you're not the biggest film on the year. That's really, really sad.
Moving on. Best writing for TV series. We have winner of MTV Sugar, Mashariki.
You know when it's not
nominated. Nominated is The Wives, Our Husband, Addis Fikir, Babao, The Party, and Gizzard. Did anybody watch The Party?
The party has no reason to be there.
I saw the party.
Did you see The Wives?
The Wives.
Vivian?
I think The Wives is. I think The Wives is
well written.
Yeah, it's well enough.
To Kill a Monkey is missing in this list, by the way.
I'm very grateful for that.
That
Oris?
To Kill a Monkey was not on
Why?
that
Oh, I'm
list.
surprised. Why?
I think as far as writing TV goes, it's
No,
like an elongated film. It's
No,
not
I don't
written
even
like
argue. No, I'm entirely on your side. I feel like
It's not written
one
like
of
TV at all.
Kemi Adetiba's strong points, in theory, not in practice, now, is writing. In theory.
Yeah.
But I feel like in practice, I haven't really seen that. And To Kill a Monkey was like the latest example of how that thing I think that she's supposed to have, she actually doesn't quite have it. So yeah, I'm on the side with this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up our talking points in terms of wins, snubs, and questioning the categories. But I want to get a final take on our biggest films of last year. Ginger, Behind the Scenes, Ovasabi Auntie, and them putting up no wins.
No fight.
What does that say for our box office quality in terms of the pictures going to the big screens? Tito?
These films that do really fantastic numbers at the box office, they are reflective of the Nigerian audience more than anything, in my opinion.
Right.
Because, you have audiences who go in large numbers to see films like Ginger and Behind the Scenes, but you don't have large audiences going to see My Father's Shadow.
Yes.
And these are very...
Which was in cinemas, by the way.
It was in cinemas, but people did not go in large numbers. And we weren't surprised about that. Because what the Nigerian audience tends to appreciate is films that have huge stars in them, first of all, like, Funke and Toyin and
yes.
the ladies that were in Ginger. So a lot of our films that do well in the box office are very celebrity and star driven.
Yes.
And the substance in them is not really that much. But when we now come to the awards and award ceremonies like the AMVCA is where substance is really celebrated and it's a key factor.
You hope?
Right.
Hopefully, and it looks like that's the path they are trying to tour these days. That it now makes sense why you do very well in the box office, but you won't perform as well at the awards.
Oris, commercial and critical acclaim. Why do we have a huge divide?
I think part of the problem is what you just pointed out, that it looks to me like the audience is obviously what's it called? They are going for faces. I know you, so I'm going there. Like I said earlier, this idea of aggregating fan bases is the dominant motif for commercial success in Nigeria right now. But I think that we should think about it the other way. So now what I mean by that is, a lot of what we are talking about here, to what Tito has just said, is but let's just use the word blaming the commercial guys for doing that. The other side, the flip side is the guys who actually have these, in quotes, better movies.
Right.
How much marketing are they doing? So there is that problem there that I see that I feel like people are spending a lot of their brain power and a lot of their, what's it called now? Goodwill on the idea that, I've done a great film.
It will sell itself.
Exactly.
So a good film does not sell itself.
It has never sold itself. Not even anywhere. No, not anywhere. Not anywhere. The fact of the matter is you need to do something to engineer that.
Yeah.
The question is, how much will you do to engineer that? So what we should be looking forward to seeing is, okay, you say you're a great filmmaker and you've done a great film.
Right.
Let us see you put your money, your mouth, and your technique behind the marketing. Until that happens, I don't think we can really blame the Nigerian audience. That said, I don't believe that there's anything anybody could have done to save a film like My Father's Shadow, for instance, from doing badly at the box office. I don't think that it's a film that is engineered towards having a certain
Box
amount of
office
money
success.
in Nigeria as it is today.
Right.
Maybe it changes in 5 years, but as it is now, I don't believe there's any kind of marketing you can do for My Father's Shadow that will make it cross 150 million. I don't think you can do that. I don't think it's impossible, other than I go to their house, I drag them.
We're not doing that.
No, because we do need to be honest. It's not a cheap endeavor to
market
go
a film.
It's not to go to the cinemas now.
Right.
And so I don't really blame the audience when they decide they're
not
only
to.
going to pay for people they know. They know what to expect. Do you get? I don't really. The economy, it really goes hand in hand.
Vivian, I
the
also want to
economy
ask
of
you one
it.
question before you wrap up. It's in terms of our consumer taste. Do you think, because again, there's a conversation we had that, our intelligence consumers are not going to the big screens, or we're not making big pictures to navigate getting our intelligence consumers coming to the big screens. Do you think it's a fallacy, or that there's some truth in there?
Like I said,
She sighed.
I think it's actually quite complicated, and I'm not even a film marketer to tell you the nitty-gritty, right?
Right.
But I think the economy, we always sidestep the economy when we have these discussions.
Right.
The economy is a major factor, and that's the fact.
No, but no, I don't. So my only caveat is that the economy is bad as it is, and yet people are going to some of these other movies. And
watch
again,
the films.
let's remember that. I think I speak to I know a number of people who are in the film distribution business in Nigeria,
Right.
and sort of they kind of have given up on getting the
Intellectuals.
Ikoyi class to the cinemas.
Classism. And
No,
we
yes.
want to bring classism to our consumer standards and consumer.
No, but I'm just saying,
demand.
no, this whole idea of, no, intelligence is kind of class, unfortunately, it's kind of class coded in a sense in Nigeria. So when you say intelligence, you're talking about class in a
Class
way.
at the same time,
So
yeah.
I'm saying now that some of them have given up on saying, hey, they don't think they know what to do to
Right.
bring people of that intelligence to
the
the
big
cinemas.
screens. Right.
So they are not even trying to do that anymore. And so one of the so what I think we need to do is, okay, these guys who have shown like a predilection for seeing films by Funke, by Toyin, the rest of them, okay, can you then get some of them? So I think when I was doing the math the other day for Funke's last big film,
Behind the Scenes.
Behind the Scenes, yes, I think it was about 400 seats or so, 400,000 seats that she was able
In
to
terms
sell
of tickets, yeah.
around that, And okay, can we get half of that to show up for a so-called better movie? That's really is
I think
the
that's even
question.
a distributor question.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they've given up on trying to do that. So when they are doing marketing for these other so-called better
Right.
films, they are not even putting in as much energies or as much money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have to put a pin on this, but thank you so much for your time. I would love to get final words, but briefly, because I think my producer is already saying we're out of time. So let's start with Tito.
I'm curious to see what this will lead, what road this will take us down going forward. It feels like there's a shift with the AMVCAs, where the AMVCA seemingly wants to reward or award, thinking films, more intelligent films, and all that. That's what we've seen.
Right.
I wonder how that will pan out in subsequent editions or over the next 1 year.
Yeah, awesome. Oris?
I think, well, first things first, the MVCA has to work out what happens with major co-productions that between Nigeria and major Western countries, or Asian, even Asian countries. That has to, they have to figure out how do we deal with that. And then
It's still on fair playing field. They are still.
yes, I'm saying that we need to tell us, okay, how do we deal with that on the one hand? And as Tito has also pointed out, we need to know, are we looking from now onward only at excellence and not particularly at box office? This needs to be settled in a way.
Vivian?
I think a lot of what you said has to do with the MVC even telling us what their rules are in the first place. We don't even know what their rules are. Every year people call, what is Trailblazer? Nobody really knows what their rules are, which is one major issue.
Fair.
But I will give the MVC credit this year.
Okay.
I typically don't do that because I usually come out very annoyed and like, this is not what we're doing.
So this was a good year. This was a good year.
Yeah, so I think after denominations, I went through all 5 stages of grief. And once I accepted that, okay, this is where we are, Ginger has 9 nominations, nothing we can do about the fact that it's nominated means it can win. It can win. Just go in knowing it can win. So I think once I accepted that and came to terms with that, I came out of the awards night pleasantly surprised. And I think it was the best possible outcome that we got.
So there are cards,
I'm grateful for that.
There are cards on the table, and I think everybody should go ahead to pick a card for, just the
ratings
of the AMVCA
this year.
and like what's our aftermath score. So
So
From
one
one-
being the lowest.
1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. Guests, please take
Okay.
your
So
cards.
5 is
I have
like
1 and 2.
excellent,
5
but
is
1 is
excellent.
like really.
1
think
is like really.
She only
I have
has.
1 and 2.
So what our
You
aftermath score?
guys can borrow. Who has a 2,
I have-
please?
So you can show that to
Borrow
your
your 2,
camera.
thank
Can
you.
I
So
borrow
Tito,
your
where's your
frame?
camera?
Want to borrow my word? They
Your
can borrow
frame.
everything. Okay. So that is my score for the AMVCAs this year. I give it a 2.
A 2.
In terms of the results, in terms of winners, and in terms of the production of the event itself.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about speeches, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Oris.
I'm a nice guy.
Oh, really?
I'm a nicer guy than Tito. So I think I'll give it. I'll give it a 3.
A
It's
3.
even this low because I think that part of I was in the ceremony was kind of boring. That's kind of why it's low. I would have probably given it higher, maybe 3.5.
Ceremony was boring.
Yes, I've been attending maybe the past 5 or 6 of ceremonies. This was the most boring one. So yeah, a 3.
Vivian,
Yeah.
review your card. Oh, a 3.
Okay. Because in as much as I appreciate the progress we had this year, the nominations are still part of the awards, my guys, and don't do that again, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vivian, Oris, Tito, thank you so much for talking to us. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our episode for AMVCA, The Aftermath, which is a special of SNI, brought to you by Shock Africa. I remain your host, Damilare, Akintunde, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, bye-bye, guys.
Bye.